Welcome, food travelers. I'm Micah.
And I'm Simon.
In this episode, I'm in Maokong Station area of Taipei, and this location is about, I would say, 13 kilometers from Taipei 101 location. It's about a southeast of Taipei, and the only way to get here is actually by bus or by car, or you can actually take like a train, Uber over, but then you would have to take this gondola or hike all the way up to the top here. It's not that convenient of a location to get to if you don't own a car or you don't have actual public transportation other than the few options that there are. So starting off here, I'm headed to this tea house called Sih Ye Tea House, which they offer one part tea house and one part restaurant, and it's pretty interesting. Like when you're going in, you see the koi fishes. Everything is pretty traditional kind of seating where you kind of have to take off your shoes and then sit on your knees with these little bit of mats that they give you. From my understanding, Simon, you've also been in this area before, right?
Yeah, when I visited Taiwan back in 2019, I believe, I did actually come to this area, so I was kind of surprised in a good way when you were up here and you were sending over some pictures and some of the places you went to. And there's actually another restaurant that I went to. It was down the street, probably like a 5-minute or less walk. And that one, I remember having a ground baked chicken. So they actually had the oven underground and they would bake the chicken. It was a whole chicken, including the head and the feet and everything else included with it. It was just really tasty. It had a nice crispy skin, very nice. So definitely this area, I know a lot of people do come and visit. I think one of the things that I noticed that's different between what you visited and when I was there was that you got to experience the rain, where I had a nice sunny day when I was there.
Yeah, unfortunately for this visit, it was pretty wet and it was pretty windy too, but it was nice that we were able to get a seat right away, and we had hot tea. So this area is actually very famous for is the tea. There's a bunch of tea houses around, a bunch of tea restaurant as well, and nice thing is because it's a tea area, a lot of the dishes are tea infused or cooked with tea. And also now that we are sitting here for the restaurant, we're getting fresh tea, which is a little bit nicer than going to another restaurant where the tea is from somewhere else. So starting off here, some of the dishes that I got was the tea smoked chicken. I got the Mantos sweet chewy tea jelly, which is a dessert dish, and then I got the Guanyin milk tea. And interesting with the milk tea is they actually put the boba on the side, and then I got oolong tea, pyramid fried rice, which is made with tea and seafood, and then I got 3-cup chicken and a Thai style seafood salad that was made with clam, squid, and shrimp.
Yeah, the chicken looked really good. It looked like it had a nice good moisture to it. I couldn't talk about the flavor, but just visually, it looked like it has lots of moisture to make it nice and I guess a moist bite.
Yeah, definitely. That tea smoked chicken had a really great strong tea flavor to it. I don't exactly know which type of tea they used with it, but it definitely, you could taste the tea in the chicken when they were making it. Some of the other dishes that I had, such as the pyramid fried rice that's supposed to be made with tea and seafood, you can't taste too much tea in that one, but definitely with the tea smoked chicken, you could taste a lot of tea with it. I'm kind of surprised in terms of presentation of it. It's a little bit different from a lot of other restaurants that I went to in the past, where usually with a tea smoked chicken, I've seen where they would use some sort of smoke or steam or something, and then they'll put like a cover on top, so when they bring it to your table, they'll like open it and you see a lot of smoke coming out, kind of giving that visual effect.
And what did you say was this dish you're showing that has the crispy outer edge?
Yeah, this one is called the 3-cup chicken. It was really crispy. The way they fried it and everything, it was really good. It doesn't really have any strong tea flavor, any tea flavor to that one, but it was really nice, really crisp, and it was pretty light batter, I would say, because it was really nice crispiness to chicken in how they were making it.
It's pretty interesting. They called it a 3 cup chicken because over in Washington, I remember there's another restaurant that I have eaten, especially when in school, and they also have a dish called 3 cup chicken, and I'm assuming it's not a name that is not used. I'm pretty sure it's a name that's used often, but in this 3 cup chicken, it was actually like a more of a wet dish rather than having like a crispy shell to the food. So that was kind of interesting for me that they have the same name, but it's a completely different dish.
Oh yeah, I definitely see that a lot in Seattle, where their 3 cup chicken is a lot more moist version of it. But moving along here, the next place that I went to is a Maokong ice cream shop, and actually it's a tea house, but then they serve these ice cream soft serve. And I believe you also went here as well, Simon, the last time you were in Taiwan.
Yeah, when you said some pictures over on this one, I recognized it almost right away, especially the little kitties that are on top of the soft serve there. I really enjoyed it, especially on the hot day I went to, so this was perfect for me when I went.
So the flavor that I got here was the oolong tea, heavy roasted. And if you're kind of wondering what is oolong tea, it's a type of tea between an oxidized green tea and fully oxidized black tea. And oolong is kind of like a interesting tea, because a lot of times it could be kind of like a yellowish dark green color, or it could also be like amber or red color, really depending on how it was harvested and processed through. Sometimes oolong tea, or the way that oolong tea is processed, from what I read, is kind of like it was withered away first, and then after harvesting, and then the next thing they do is they kind of like stop the oxidized process. Then they do like a rolling and then a roasting afterwards. And it's not really scented too strong, depending on which type of oolong tea that you get.
Isn't oolong tea besides the very different variations of the tea, but I believe oolong tea is usually the tea that they serve in, I guess, Chinese restaurants back in the States.
I would say it depends. A lot of states nowadays, they have so many different choices. Oolong tea is popular, but I know a lot of people get like darker teas, like pu'er or like other ones as well, like green tea as well. So it really depends. It is widely used, but in terms of the taste of it, like I said, it really depends on how it's been processed, because it could taste as light or full body and sweet or really toasty too. It just depends how it's made. But for this ice cream flavor, it was actually pretty heavily roasted, like the menu said, and it had a pretty strong flavor to it. And one thing I did grab are these tea eggs, and that was made in the tea, and it was actually really hot and heavy as you're trying to grab them out. So those were pretty good and tasty too.
One of the things I remember the most is that taking this tram station to kind of get up and kind of go around. It's pretty interesting to kind of have this area where you get to kind of see all these different tea places and some of the tea farms that are all around there, and you walk around and, of course, getting the nice views of nature, and of course like Taipei 101 and everything else that is around there.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice place, especially when you went, Simon. You had a great weather, so you got to see everything and all the city skyline really well, in comparison to my trip where it's misty and wet. But it's also interesting too. So this location is about 300 meters, which is pretty high up. So is that like 1,000 or 1,100 feet, would you say?
Sure, that sounds good.
So this gondola ride is actually pretty long. It has a few stops, as you saw in the map there, and for 120 new Taiwan dollars, it's pretty inexpensive for such a long trip. It takes you all the way back down to the Taipei Zoo Station, and from there you could take the train all the way back to the city. But pretty much, if you're not taking this gondola ride, you're either hiking down or you're waiting for a bus or taking a taxi or Uber, which can be pretty expensive in comparison to this price. But I did see the hiking trail, and I was looking on Google Maps and trying to figure out how long it would take to trek down there. I think it'd probably take like an entire day almost.
Yeah, I remember looking down and seeing pieces of the trail as it pops out from the trees and everything as you go through. And I suppose if you have a full day to go enjoy everything, it would be okay to do. But I think taking the gondola, that definitely is, I think, much better. And it's also much, I think, the view, because you get to see so many different things rather than hiking through the trees where, yeah, you could see some nice things as you get to certain points. But from what I saw, it's going to be mostly seeing trees majority of the time, pretty much.
Yeah, trees and bits of buildings here and there. But I guess since they do serve ice cream and tea at the top, it would be like a nice treat to treat yourself to something tasty when you get there. But yeah, if you do have all that extra time, it might be worth a trek up there. But so going down here, I actually never seen Taiwan skyline in like clear sights. So this was a pretty good treat, just going through this gondola ride and actually seeing how the city is from this point of view, because you actually get to see like different parts of Taiwan from this side of the view.
Yeah, I remember the restaurant when I was there had a great view of Taipei 101 and kind of the whole downtown section. I mean, you couldn't really see like a lot of the buildings that are lower to the ground, but definitely all the higher buildings, you can kind of see it from our point of view. And I remember taking a picture that kind of framed Taipei 101 and everything from inside the restaurant, which was something that I kind of remembered pretty well from my trip when I was there.
Overall, I really enjoy coming up to the Maokong Station, having the ice cream and having the different type of tea dishes that they had to offer. So if you are traveling to Taiwan and you're looking for tea houses and kind of tasting the different type of tea dishes that they have to offer, definitely check this area out. And to wrap up the episode is our notable. For this notable goes to the tea smoked chicken. It's very, very juicy, very tender, very, very flavorful. Definitely worth a try.
If you've enjoyed the content you've seen, don't forget to support the channel and hit like and subscribe. And if you want to see additional pictures of food and our travels, go over to our Instagram page and follow us there. And thanks for watching.